We're all aware here in Michigan we had a terrible winter last year. We're being told now that this winter could be much worse than last. And we're being told that we may be in store for a number of very severe winters. I want to read you an article here. This is scientific. Okay, this may surprise some of you. The number of volcanoes that are erupting continues to rise. The scientists cannot seem to explain why this is happening. In 2013, we witnessed the most volcanic eruptions worldwide that we have ever seen in a single year. And this increased activity has carried over into 2014. In recent months, we have seen major volcanoes roar to life in Russia, Peru, Hawaii, Reunion Islands, Indonesia, and all over Alaska. It is highly unusual for so many volcanoes to all be erupting at the same time. According to the Volcano Discovery, a whopping 34 volcanoes are erupting around the globe right now.
How many?
34. A new one just broke out in China and Japan. And I read this morning that I believe 24 have been found dead who was too close to it. They weren't in it, but I mean the lava came so fast that they were able to get out of the way, and it says they lost them. But the sky over Japan is being turned black. Okay, this is sending a massive amount of dust and ash into the upper atmosphere, and it may explain why many parts of the planet are experiencing strangely cold weather at this moment. If this trend continues, we could potentially be facing years of crop failures and widespread famines all over the world. See, this is tying in with the other part. I mean, God has so many tools, if you'll pardon my expression, you know, to bring what He says to pass. The tribulation, we like to think of angels coming down poking people, and you know, instead of that, God releases angels to release the volcanoes, or whatever method He chooses.
Well, there are warring angels.
Yeah. And what we have witnessed already may be just the beginning. There are several more very large volcanoes around the globe that scientists are extremely concerned about right now. For example, just check out what's going on in the Philippines. The Mayan volcano in the province of Albay was placed on alert level 3 on Monday, September the 15th, that's just a week or so ago. After showing signs of relatively high unrest, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology said, in a bulletin issued at 10 p.m., observed 39 rockfall events from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. on September the 15th.
Rock falls? Rock. You said rock falls?
Yeah, the volcanoes throwing them. Synonymous of the buildup of the magma of the summit dome. At least 32 low-frequency volcanic earthquakes were also recorded, indicating magma intrusion or volcanic gas activity. I read this morning, again, that now in central California, in a small area, just a few miles, they had 500 earthquakes. Anywhere from 2.5 to 3.
In one day?
Yes.
Yeah, in one day.
500?
Yes.
It did nothing grind, did
2.5.
nothing but shake the whole time.
Wow.
And they were occurring simultaneously in various parts right under.
25
And they declared that that had to do with, maybe I'm overusing this word,
activity.
seismatic
Systematic.
movement under the ground with the volcanoes.
Plate moving.
And what day was this?
This was this week, a couple of days
September?
ago.
Okay. Monday?
And we're talking about now, not last
Not last year.
June 21st?
year or last.
Or last
yeah,
month.
Last
It's
century.
now.
So the plate
that's
was
crazy.
vacillating?
Pardon?
The plate was vacillating?
I don't know what it was doing, it was going nuts.
Trembling.
Yes.
Okay, you see what this will create, what it will create, and it will send so much ash into the air, way into the atmosphere, that the particles of it will act as reflectors, and they will pick up the sun rays and send them away. And we could go an entire season
Without the sun.
without the sun. How are you gonna have crops?
See, this stuff is black. See, and anything black absorbs
Sunlight.
the sunlight. So it would never make it to us.
Now, this is what I read you before and what we're looking at now, it is a distinct coming together of science in the Bible and prophecies.
Yes.
All right. PHIVOLCS, that's a group who determines something about these volcanoes. Raised the alert status of the Mayan volcano from alert level 2 to alert level 3, which is equivalent to a critical air alert in the agency's 5-alert system. This means the volcano is exhibiting relatively high unrest. Magma is at the crater, and that an eruption is possible within weeks. I have marked on here Acts the 3rd chapter, verses 1 through 7. Let's look that up and read it. I don't remember why I marked put it down, but I had time to read it.
Acts, the 3rd chapter.
Acts 7.
Acts.
I was at the
7.
boat and I had no way of copying those scriptures off. I normally would just have them there and I'd read them for you. 1 through 7.
1 through 7. Acts 7, 1 through 7.
Is that 7 or is that a 3? No, right here, right there.
Oh, it's like a 3. Acts 3.
It is Acts 3.
It's Acts 3, not Acts 7, guys. Acts 3, 1 through 7.
That's not what I want. That's not relative. Let me look at verse 7.
Okay, look at chapter 7.
No, I don't know what I was doing. That was before daylight. I don't know. All right, let's carry on. Sorry about that. Okay, but of greater concern is the Bunga, It is the latest volcano system in Iceland, and a large major eruption could potentially be absolutely catastrophic. This time, the threat of an eruption, potentially even more powerful than the one in 2010, is posed by Bunga, the biggest of Iceland's 30 or so volcano systems. Located roughly at the country's center, this volcano lies several hundred meters beneath, God only knows how to say that. It isn't important. Europe's largest glacier by volume. Scientists are taking the latest rumble seriously. Roughly 8,000 years ago, after all, the volcano Leviathan let rip with the largest eruption of the past 10,000 years. So I'd say this one's serious.
Sounds
It is very difficult to predict exactly what will happen with an eruption, says Monash University Volcanologist Professor Ray Katz, who is president of the International Association of Volcanologists and Chemistry of the Earth. Scientists tell us that over the last 10,000 years, Bardabuga has produced more lava than any other volcano on the planet.
Wow. Because I have seen the volcano that's on the Big Island in Hawaii. And that thing literally, I mean, it lights up the sky at night when it's dark. You can see the red hue of, I mean, because it's so hot and that stuff is just coming down. And it's horrible. I can't even imagine something like this being the largest one, because I mean, it's really bad. And it goes all the time.
It says if we witness a full-scale eruption at Bardarbunga, the cancellation of a few thousand flights may be the smallest of our concerns. The truth is that we might be looking at the coldest winter that any of us have ever seen in the northern hemisphere. But just don't take my word for it. The following is from a British newspaper article entitled "Icelandic Volcano Could Trigger Britain's Coldest Winter Ever This Year."
Sounds like we're in for it.
Depending on the force of the explosion, minute particles thrust beyond the Earth's atmosphere can trigger decades of chaotic weather patterns. Tiny pieces of debris act as billions of shields, reflecting the sun's light away from Earth, meaning winter temperatures could plunge lower than ever before, while summer will be devoid of sunshine. The first effect could be a bitterly cold winter to arrive in weeks, with thermometers plunging into minus figures, and not just rising long before next winter,
I guess it's summer.
For next summer. Okay, if this did happen, there is nothing that we could do to change it. We would just have to deal with it. This is a kind of climate change that everyone can agree on. It is well known that volcanic eruptions can substantially lower global temperatures. In fact, some global warming theories are already blaming increased volcanic activity for why temperatures have not been rising in recent years. Okay, I'm not sure how much more we should go on this. I think you've heard
Enough.
enough. But, I don't want you depressed, but you better not get depressed.
Oh.
You better not. Just another statement over here. A paper written by Benjamin Franklin in 1783 blamed the unusually cold summer of 1783 on the volcanic dust coming from Iceland, where the eruption of Laki volcano had released enormous amounts of sulfur dioxide, resulting in the death of much of the island's livestock and catastrophic famine, which killed a quarter of the Iceland's population. Northern temperatures dropped by about 1 centimeter. Is that the word you used there? And the year following. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead. I just got another paragraph here. 1600, who's this?
Benjamin Franklin.
Huh?
Oh, you mean the guy in Peru? Oh my goodness, I don't know.
Okay, the guy in Peru.
The Hapatuna in Peru.
Erupted. Tree ring studies show that 1601 was cold. Russia had its worst famine in 1601 and 1603. From 1600 to 1602, Switzerland's Latvia and Estonia had exceptionally cold winters, and the wine harvest was late in 1601 in France and Peru and Germany. Wine productions collapsed. Peach trees blossomed late in China, and okay, so you got the idea there. Now, why did I have you listen to that boring long statement? Yeah.
See you later.
Thank you.